Total population, about 60% are people working, while the rest are retirees and children. Today, the entire capital city of Kuala Lumpur has a population of 1.9 million, and according to the Star Malaysian from Interstate, have come to Kuala Lumpur to seek a better life and opportunity of a job. But there are some unlucky ones which ended up poor and some even homeless.
What is homelessness? Homelessness describes the situation of an individual or family without stable, permanent, appropriate housing, or the immediate prospect, means, and ability of acquiring it. It is the result of a systematic or societal barrier. A lack of affordable and appropriate housing, the individual's household's financial, mental, cognitive, behavioral, or physical challenges, and or racial and discrimination. Most people do not choose to be homeless, and the experience is generally negative, unpleasant, stressful, and distressing. Homelessness in Malaysia is not a new phenomenon. In Malaysia, the Malaysian term of homelessness is gelandangan, which is close to being translated as tramp. Homelessness that live in Malaysia has identified as refugee foreigners, and even few Malaysians. The causes of homelessness are parental abuse, job loss, family estrangement, migration, unemployment, economic failure, substance addiction, and civil war escape. Based on a research in Kuala Lumpur City Council (DBKL) recently reported that at least 1 or 2,000 people were at the Kuala Lumpur city centre, according to NST. Accurate figures for the homeless are not available. In a 2016 study, the homeless in the city range from 1,005 to 2,000. In 2019, there are some 8,000. The New Sunday Times recently reported a proposal that public parks in the city can be turned into transit shelters for the homeless, and at the same time rehabilitate them back to society. Based on the research, account by DBKL conducted in May 2017 identified 1,037 homeless people, including 15 children in 15 key hotspot zones. Around 90% of the counted homeless were male compared to women. According to the Department of Social Welfare 2015 statistical report regarding homeless in Malaysia, 68.2% were female and the majority of them were at 30 to 60 years old.
So, why are homeless people homeless? Well, for me, homeless people are homeless. I think there are many reasons why homeless people are homeless, but I believe that one of the main causes are probably addiction disorders. So, addiction disorders like probably drinking, drug abuse. A lot of them are also dealing with mental health illnesses like schizophrenia. So, you're taking all this into account. Into why they're homeless. And one more other thing is probably because of the drop in economy, like currently how COVID is happening and people are jobless. And one more thing is also mental abuse. Honestly, I've read that there's this study done back then that if people would pick between being mentally abused or being homeless, majority of people would pick being homeless instead of being mentally abused, because it's so much easier to be homeless than to be stuck in a cage where you're constantly tortured.
I view them as like normal human beings because like especially in this like developing country in Malaysia, there's always like the rich one, there's always like poor one, there's like employed ones, there's unemployed ones, and it's so hard to even loan money to like get a house these days. So like it's normal for there to be like homeless people you see like in the streets and all. So yeah, they're just like normal humans.
Obviously, I think it's sad to see there are homeless people living outside, especially in our weather. And even though there are homeless shelters here in Malaysia, I don't think it's enough to help them. And I think that people who are hiring should give them a chance, even though they don't have any job experience.
So my initial thought when I see a homeless person is that I would think that this person has already lacked the basic need that humans need, which is shelter. So I feel that most of the reason why people are homeless in Malaysia, I think the public perception is that the homeless person is involved in drugs or is abandoned by their family because of unacceptable issues. That means they contradict to the norm. But I feel that homeless people can also be individuals who struggle looking for jobs, and in the whim of the moment they just sort of lose financial independence. So I feel that the general perception of homeless can differ according to individuals, and I feel that the government should try to make housing more accessible to homeless people, and there shouldn't also be hostile architecture within city, such as like the main cities, so that the homeless people can at least have a place to rest on. That's all.
There are many stereotypes surrounding homeless people, and they often get misjudged. The common public perception of the homeless is negative. They are assumed to be addicts who squander their money on either drugs, alcohol, or gambling, and are too lazy to get off their feet and find work. The Women, Family and Community Development Minister, Datuk Seri Rohani Abdul Karim, was reported to have said that homeless people live an easy life by relying on the generosity from the citizens and prefer to steal or beg for money and food rather than to have a normal life. In 2012, the Department of Social Welfare initiated the Henti Memberi Kami Prihatin campaign. The campaign's objective was to reduce begging on the streets by instructing the public not to give money to the destitute. This campaign was justified by claims that the pittance given would only contribute to social ills such as drug use and gambling. In lieu of that, the department suggested that the money would be better spent if donated to orphanage or NGOs. Though this may hold true for a small percentage of homeless people, not all of them suffer from substance abuse, as addiction is only one of the many contributing factors that can lead to homelessness. In fact, previous JKM findings based on a survey of 1,387 homeless people in Kuala Lumpur showed that only 4.8 were drug abusers.
Counterintuitive. On the 18th of March, Malaysia became one of the latest countries to place restriction on its citizens to slow the spread of the COVID-19 virus, which has to date claimed the lives of some 8,000 people worldwide.
Kerajaan memutuskan untuk melaksanakan Perintah Kawalan Pergerakan mulai 18 Mac 2020 hingga 31 Mac 2020 di seluruh negara.
It was called a restriction of movement order, but it pretty much triggered a balik kampung scenario, the exact opposite of what was intended.
Orang ramai mula hadir di beberapa balai polis untuk mengisi borang makluman pergerakan keluar sepadan negeri
adalah membeli tiket PAS untuk pulang ke rumah masing-masing dengan segera.
The restrictions are actually designed to enforce something called social distancing, which is a proven method to control the spread of infectious diseases that are spread through close contact. The virus gets transmitted through droplets of saliva or mucus, either directly or indirectly. Social distancing removes or reduces the chances of that happening.
Social distancing is very important in the condition like coronavirus. Because number one, we don't have a cure. Number two, the vaccines won't be ready for another year or year and a half. So all we have to do in terms of preventing ourselves from catching it is by physical methods. That is by hand hygiene, personal hygiene, and also social distancing.
These social interactions might seem really harmless, like it's just one person meeting another person. What's the worst that could happen, right? But if we don't practice social distancing, infection rates can go up really quickly in a short period of time. Based on early cases, the R0 of the COVID-19 virus is about 2.2. That means that each infected person could go on to pass the virus to another 2.2 people. For all you math geeks out there, the R0 equals contacts per unit time multiplied by the mean infectious period. The secret is to get the R0 value below 1. In that situation, the virus will die off by itself in time, because each new infection does not generate more than one transmission. In the absence of a cure, and there is no current cure or vaccine for the COVID-19, the only way we can do that is by limiting the number of contact that we have. And that's the science behind social distancing. For all you non-math geeks out there, just stay at home.
Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the Malaysian government have imposed restriction of movement in order to reduce the spread of the virus. The homeless, which also includes foreigners, are those who have been abandoned by their families, the sick, the poor, mentally ill, drug addicts, the alcoholics, and the former prisoners. They have been placed in different shelters at Sentul Perdana Community Centre with over 181 people. There is also Tasik Ampang Hilir, a community hall with 62 people, Setia Wangsa Community Hall with 95 people, Alam Damai Multipurpose Hall in Cheras with 30 people, Homeless Transit Centre in Jalan Pahang with 99 people, and Anjung Singgah Jalan Jang Lengkui with 142 people. More than 510 homeless people have now been homed in 2 transit and 4 community centres around the capital under a Kuala Lumpur City Hall, DBKL. Mission to track them down and keep them safe while the Movement Control Order MCO is placed. Dr. Noor Hisham said the homeless people were gathered at a shelter at Dahlan Sentul Perdana Community Centre and put in separate places than those in family units. They are provided with essentials, mattresses, and blankets, and also being provided with 3 meals a day, all courtesy of NGOs. Fortunately, the homeless people in Kuala Lumpur are currently in good hands.
There are various social organizations and individuals in Kuala Lumpur who help to alleviate the suffering of homeless people and low-income families. Some of them even help the homeless to re-enter the workforce and society. There are many organizations, registered and unregistered, that have worked tirelessly to support the vulnerable in whatever way they can. That NGO has its own core ideology that unites its members in their efforts to reduce human suffering.
Soup kitchen, a bread line, a meal center, or a food kitchen is a location where food is given to the hungry free of charge or at a reduced market price. Frequently located in low-income neighborhoods, volunteer organizations such as churches or community groups are often employed. Soup kitchens sometimes get food from a food bank for free or at a low price because they are considered charitable, making it easier for them to feed the many people who need their service.
Though there are a few organizations catered to the homeless, the one in particular that is very well established is Kechara Soup Kitchen, or in short, KSK. Kechara Soup Kitchen has its own objectives and motto that focuses on providing food for street homeless and urban poor through the implementation of its Hunger Knows No Barriers program. Their motto is synonymous with their goal to feed everyone regardless of ethnicity, race, or religion. In addition to delivering food to the homeless, these NGOs also offer other resources such as medical care, therapy, clothes, job opportunities, and shelters. The Kechara Soup Kitchen highlighted that they want to provide a practical and structured solution in reducing the flow of homeless people who are living on the street as a part of their long-term objectives to open a nurture center.
Every week, every day, alternate day, every week, every month, annually.
So it's always consistent.
It's always consistent. It's always consistent as low as 5 ringgit, 10 ringgit to millions. So everything you see around here is all based on donation. Paying rental, electricity, everything is based on donations. So Kechara is an NGO. We are NGO. We are a society. We are not a company. So everything is based on donations. So what you see in Kechara Soup Kitchen, the whole building, everything, and here also everything also is by donations. So the kind donors will donate to us, then we use it accordingly, and of course we go through auditing because people will ask, okay, millions of dollars, where does it go to? So we have auditor, alright? So
How long have you been doing this for?
Previously, I was a volunteer. I would say 1 year half. 1 year half again. 1 year half, and then now I received a job offer by Kechara to work as a full-time staff. So I'm in charge of public relations and also marketing. Yeah, so I've been converted into a staff.
So how's it handling everything on your own? Is it tough?
We have a team of full-time staff, about 14 of us. About 14 of us, we split into 3 programs: soup kitchen, food bank, and empowerment. So each of us will have our respective duties and responsibilities. For me, I'm more to PR, meaning that I go out, follow volunteers go out when they deliver food for food bank, empowerment, or soup kitchen. I'll be the one recording the video and editing.
Based in KL. No, there's a lot of places.
Yes. So that's first question. Second question, where else are we covering? Kuching, Ipoh, Kuantan, Kelantan, Penang, Johor, Seremban. These are the places I remember, and Klang Valley I remember so far. But of course the kecil-kecil now, then the ones maybe they cover under the main one like Ipoh, Johor. Question. Why we're doing Kechara Food Bank? Because first we started off distributing food to the homeless at the streets. But the question is, if we keep giving food to the streets, they become dependent. Oh, Saturday, Kechara will come give food. Okay, stand there, line up, sure got food. But that is not our goal to settle homelessness. We want to take them off the streets. So we go to their root cause, which is the families, parents, kids, so on and so forth. So that's where we come out with the food bank program, whereby families will request from us, the staff will go and interview, and then we will approve or disapprove, alright, through evaluations of the families. Then on a monthly basis, we will give them 30 days of supplies. Most of it is dry food supplies, alright, so that they can tahan for 1 month. But of course, people will say, wow, 1 month, that's a lot. Sure can eat finish. You know, we all Malaysian, we eat 5 times a day, sometimes 6 times. So, of course, the supplies that we're going to deliver later will not meet the whole 30 days. Alright, so indirectly, we want them to be independent, to find a job, so on and so forth. Alright, so families, after being interviewed, approved, we have been delivering for 1 to 3 months a day. Every 3 months, we will go and re-evaluate the family. What if the parents suddenly working already, or they bought an Astro, they have an aircon in the house already? Then from there, we will say, oh, apologies, we will be discontinuing the food bank supply to you, and like that. Because this food bank is only for families who are in need of it. So sometimes we go to some houses, they got plasma TV, got Astro, got aircon, we will reject, automatically reject.
Only those really, really.
Yes. So the staff will go there and interview them like a real interview lah, for 1-2 hours. Yep. So that's where the food bank program lo. So other than that, Kechara Food Bank is recognized under the World Food Bank. There's an association, a global association. So we are a member of it. Yep. So like this. So
the issue regarding homelessness stems from many roots, and there are a variety of factors that can contribute to it. Regardless, homelessness is still a serious issue that affects people both here in Malaysia and across the world, and it needs to be tackled swiftly. If we aim to eliminate homelessness in Malaysia completely, addressing both the social and economic issues concerned is a crucial requirement.